I have always been a heavy sleeper. As a child, I could sleep through thunderstorms and even the occasional fire alarm. But as I got older, my sleep patterns began to change. I started having vivid dreams and nightmares more frequently, and sometimes waking up in the middle of the night paralyzed. At first, it was just a few times a year, but as time went on, it became more and more frequent. It was always the same sensation. I would wake up, unable to move, with a sense of dread and an overwhelming feeling of being watched. One night, it got particularly bad. I had fallen asleep reading a book, and when I woke up, I was unable to move. I tried to scream for help, but no sound came out of my mouth. Panic set in as I realized I was completely paralyzed. Suddenly, I felt a weight on my chest, as if something was trying to suffocate me. I could feel hot breath on my face, and a sense of pure evil emanating from whatever was holding me down. I tried to shake myself out of it, to will my body to move, but nothing worked. I was trapped, at the mercy of this malevolent force. It felt like hours, but eventually, the weight lifted off my chest, and I was able to move again. I sat up, gasping for air and drenched in sweat. I knew this wasn't just a nightmare. Something was happening to me, and I needed help. Over the next few weeks, the episodes continued. They were always the same. I would wake up, paralyzed, with a sense of dread and a feeling of being watched. Each time, I could feel the presence of a dark entity, pressing down on me, trying to steal my life force. Then one night, after constant sleep paralysis attacks, one especially terrified me. I was ready to go to bed, dreading that I might have another episode. I closed my eyes and tried to rest. When I opened my eyes again, I saw a dark, tall figure at the end of my bed. I was not asleep. This was not the same as before. I was able to move, but then before I could run, I became paralyzed. It climbed over my bed, over my body, and grabbed me by the neck, holding me up. My body lifted so quickly and my feet dangled in the air. I was levitating as I've seen in horror movies, except I never believed it was possible. I felt myself peeing down my legs, and then I heard cynical laughter all around me, like there were multiple dark figures in the room, but I couldn't see them. It was hard to think straight, but I remembered in exorcism movies how they prayed the demons away. I didn't know any prayers, so I just screamed, "Please help me, God." With that, it released me immediately and was thrown off me almost by force. I fell back and was free to move again. I became obsessed with researching sleep paralysis, reading everything I could about the causes and treatments. I was skeptical at first that sleep paralysis was a demonic attack, until it happened when I was wide awake. I was so scared that it might happen again. I got holy water, and I slept with a Bible next to my bed every night. It stopped for many months, and I was not afraid to fall asleep anymore. Then late one night, I happened to fall asleep on my couch after watching movies when I felt the familiar onset of the paralysis. I closed my eyes and focused all my energy on visualizing a bright white light surrounding me. At first, I felt the pressure increase, and the darkness seemed to close in around me. But then, something shifted. The white light grew stronger, and the darkness began to recede. In that moment, I felt a sense of power I had never experienced before. I was no longer helpless, I was fighting back. Slowly but surely, the episodes became less frequent, less intense. Eventually, they stopped altogether, and I was finally able to get a good night's sleep, free from the terror that had haunted me for so long. I have faced my fears head on, and I have emerged stronger for it. Sleep paralysis may have once held me captive, but now I am free.